House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
You are all the way out there in TV land or on the internet. I am here. Gina from RE/MAX Diamond Realty is about 3 feet away, and existentially we are going to talk about something, the reverse side of the coin, that what we talked about like last week, Gina. We were talking about tax preparation tips for people who sell property. Now we're actually going to look at the other side. We're people who actually buy property.
Yeah. The buyers who purchased real estate this year, and maybe, unfortunately, some buyers who purchased real estate a year before but didn't get everything put together, right? So if you bought real estate this year, I want to explain to you that, and this is for everybody, even, I mean, just generally speaking, if you got a bank loan and you bought real estate this year, the things you need to put away is a copy of your HUD statement, and the HUD statement basically outlined what you paid and the expenses that went along with it. That's on that statement. It's called the HUD form. So you need to have that ready for your tax person. It's critical. Don't forget to have that handy. Don't forget to turn it in. And
maybe
then,
first things first, the tax season is not the exact same thing as we residential people file like in tax. Because property tax, if you didn't know this, is a lot sooner.
oh, yes, property tax, you'll get your bill in December for this year, and it's paid next year in 2 installments, right? But this is really in preparation for you to file your income tax returns and to let your tax person know that I bought real estate and here's what it is. So you put together the HUD form, and the other documents you should save is, if you got a copy of the map, save that. If you got, of course, you need to get a copy of your deed, save that. And a lot of people ask me, well, where's my certificate of title? The government doesn't really issue that anymore. You can go apply for it, but they've kind of stopped issuing certificate of titles. So your deed is that is your certificate of title.
This is kind of off topic, but where do you recommend keeping all of these documents and this type of paperwork? Because you've got title certificate, as you said, inspections, surveys, the lien itself from the bank and everything. Would you say put it in a safety deposit box, or like?
For me, I like to keep things really simple. So I'd rather keep it in my house in a safe place. If I have a safe, like my husband bought a small safe that we could keep our paperwork in.
Smart man.
And my son, one of my kids, knows how to get into the safe, so if something happens, it's accessible to them. And if you don't want to do that or can't afford to do that, then put it in a binder and keep it in a place that's mark it so the kids know how to get to it, or your family knows how to get to it. Just put it in a safe place in your home so that if anything happens, it's accessible to your family members that need it. Okay,
now also, because I went to public school, I'm of course looking to save money on every single thing, right?
Me too.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as
saving money is what this show's about.
And thank you, reinforcing the concept. So I'm thinking all of these transactions, right? Like if I buy property, I want to do things like if I may have had the surveys done, like you said, or appraisals, or certain functions and everything. Are any of those things tax deductible?
Yes, and so that's what's important about that HUD form. If you're working with a good tax person, you give them that HUD form, they'll go through the HUD form and they'll explain to you what they can write off on your tax returns, because that's one of the big benefits of owning real estate, whether you're an investor or you're a buyer who's moving into the home. There are items in there. For instance, you mentioned survey. It's odd. It's an expense, but it's not an expense. The survey, if the buyer, and I'm noticing now a lot of buyers are stuck paying for the survey. It's a seller's market. You got to do what you got to do to get into the home, and sometimes it's, okay, I'll pay for the survey. So let's say you did that, you paid for the survey. It's on your HUD statement. And if it's not, what I would advise is, if you are buying real estate, make sure all your fees are not, I would recommend that you pay everything as part of the closing and not so much outside of escrow. Some people prefer, I'll just write a check and give it to the surveyor. Well, you know what? Everything is better organized if you leave it on your HUD. You can just give the check to the escrow company, have them pay it in your behalf. That way, it'll show in your HUD.
Therefore, it's itemized, right?
It's itemized.
Easier for the tax preparer.
It's easy. That's right. I want things simple. So your survey, although you're paying for it it's an expense, the way the IRS tax laws go, it's not part of a tax deductible expense the year you buy it. It's part of your base. Remember we talked about your base? When you go to sell real estate, your profit is based on what you bought the real estate at. It's your base. It's complicated. Make sure you talk to your tax person, but your survey is part of your base. So what can you write off? You can write off your home insurance policy that you paid for, you know, and there's various guidelines to this. So it's you know, every person's going to be different. You could write off your prepaid interest that you're paying to the bank, because a lot of times you close today, but your first payment doesn't start until December. So that's a tax deductible item the year you buy.
So basically, as a buyer, in summary, before we go to the end of the show, is the tax system is not evil. There's just a lot of loopholes that you probably don't know about that you could take advantage of. Completely legit, completely legal.
Completely legit. That's what
it's all about. As long as you know somebody who can show you what to do and everything like that,
Yeah.
they actually make it quite simple.
And that's why you're going to save money if you can educate yourself. It's all about knowing what you could do.
Well, it's all about you bringing that education to us. Now go side to side. Yeah.
There you go, Jason.
See, you're blushing too, because we just acted like
Yeah,
12-year-olds.
yeah.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Perfect.
All right, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.